are the primary factors contributing to, let's be honest, the lack of competence among Scrum Masters? And I know you go on LinkedIn, you have it every day. It's me, it's the CST, it's the Scrum Trainer, because we lead a 2-day course, therefore we're to blame. I'm not completely going to disagree with that. I think there's a misunderstanding, and we'll come back to that. But what about the hiring managers? What about the Scrum Masters themselves? Hi, my name is John McFadgen. I'm managing partner with Agile Centre. I'm a certified Scrum Trainer with Scrum Alliance, and I've been in the Scrum and Agile world for over 20 years now. So let's tackle the easy one, the one that everybody has a go at, the Scrum Trainer. You know, we lead a CSM, or if you're from scrum.org, a PSM, a 2-day class, 14, 15 hours long, of exploring the Scrum framework and Agile and how to make this stuff work. Have we contributed to that lack of competence? I think, if we're honest, we've invited people in. Our intention is it's an introductory course. In fact, I have a slide that goes up because, yes, I use slides. I don't do all freehand drawing. I'm not good enough. This is an introductory course, through the lens of a Scrum Master. It's about introducing people to the idea. It is not meant to be the complete journey. And I don't know any trainers, PST, CST, or any competent trainer who would ever say otherwise. We won't pretend that we teach you everything. In fact, in the classes, I will always say, if you have questions, or when you have questions, get in touch. We can't do it justice. We can't cover everything. But what I can do is set you off on a path. I can give you a direction. So if people, and I've never come across them, have been saying otherwise, then yeah, maybe the training community has been a factor. Certainly, I've seen people on courses, I've met people who've done a CSM who don't remember any of it. But there's only so much that I can do in the 2 days that you give me, and there's only so much that will stick if you don't use it. I know I sound like I'm apologizing a bit, but this is the reality. It's a 2-day course. Imagine if you're allowed to go out and drive on the roads in a high-performance vehicle after 14 hours of training, and a very simple test. It'd be bedlam. It'd be carnage. No, we put more rigor in it because the expectation is, and let's be honest, the downside of driving is bigger. But you learn to drive once you pass your test. You're safe. And I think of it in the same way. The idea of a Scrum course is to give you enough information to get started, to be safe. You're not going to wreck a team if you follow the information, right? Maybe you won't get there to greatness. Maybe you won't take them to high-performing states because you're going to have to learn a lot more than we could cover. So put my hand up. We are, and we certainly are told we are, an awful lot, maybe a factor in this. But also we have to look at the businesses. What do people want? When they're hiring, what are they asking for? What are they looking for? Are they just looking for somebody who did a 2-day course? In which case, why do more? If you're looking to get a job and you see that they need a CSM and you can get that in a 2-day course, and they're not going to ask you any question that interrogates your knowledge, that interrogates your experience, they're going to ask you, and I have been in interviews where they asked me, which was quite amusing, I'll be honest, what is the purpose of sprint planning? So, wow, it's a 13-page document. I can remember it. I think we're good. I'm not telling you anything by that. So we as trainers probably need to, and as a wider community, need to be educating the hiring managers. If they don't have experience in hiring Scrum Masters, in working with Scrum Masters, aren't a good, highly competent Scrum Master themselves, how are they going to ask good questions to filter these people out? How are they going to know what's good? So we've got to support those people. because they're making the decisions. They're the ones who are creating the market. We as trainers are trying to create a pool of people with base knowledge. And if you want to come on the advanced courses, we can deepen that knowledge, but it's going to be based on your experience. We need the hiring managers to step up their game. We need them to be thinking, what do I want from a Scrum Master? What can I expect? And it is not, do they know what the daily Scrum is? It's, do they know how? Can they evidence that they have? Help teams, improve, gain a continuous improvement mindset, keep pushing forwards. If they're not asking those questions and they're taking somebody who can parrot back the Scrum Guide and some basic ideas around Agile, then they're absolutely part of the problem. Okay? Now, the people themselves, the Scrum Masters. Okay? As I said, training is about a journey. Hiring somebody, you're not always hiring the complete package. You're very often hiring somebody who has potential. You want them to grow and develop in the role. But I've come across so many Scrum Masters over the years who, that's it. They did a 2-day course, they got a job, that was good enough, and they don't learn anymore. They don't embody, they don't live these ideas from the Agile world about continuous improvement, about constantly learning, right? They did their course and they moved on. They got the job title Scrum Master, and they're probably okay-ish. They're not great, because there's far more skills in Scrum Mastery and Agile coaching, and call it what you will, than can be taught in a 2-day course or a many-day course. Right? This is about experimentation with your practice. This is about trying things out, seeing what works, reflecting on things, trying new ideas, synthesizing new data, and constantly pushing yourself and your team's ideas of what's possible. Right? It's about investing in yourself deliberately and extensively. So when we look at this, there's lots of people involved, and we can't point the blame at any one person or even one group, okay? Because we live in a complex environment. There's many actors at play, there's many things happening, there's many exchanges of information and points of contact. And all of these things have been doing what they do with, and I'm always going to assume, good intentions. They're trying to do the best. As a trainer, we are trying to give people those foundational pieces of knowledge. And if they come back for more advanced courses, we're going to give them more advanced knowledge. And we're going to try and enthuse them, inspire them to continue that learning journey. I'm sure when people go out to hire, they hire the best people they believe the best for the job. All right? And many Scrum Masters that I work with who, I'll be honest, haven't hit a bar. They couldn't reach the bar if they stretched. They don't see it as their job. They are people who turn up, do a job, go home, and they're good with that. And they're not in an environment that supports anything else. It accepts, to be blunt, mediocrity. We need to change that idea. Okay? I have come across companies who complain, my Scrum Masters aren't very good. And when I get talking to them, it's because they didn't hire a Scrum Master. They've given them no support because they don't know what support the Scrum Master needs. And the Scrum Master they hired isn't particularly good and knowledgeable. And then they wonder why they struggle. We need to look at this. We need to start understanding, how do we move it forwards? I have talked to people over the years. I've had ideas myself. I will be honest, and I will put my hands up. I haven't followed through on them all, because there's only so much we can do with our time, and I have to prioritize, as does everybody else. Okay? But when I think about it, and when I think about across the piece, is this the only profession where there is no central place to check? When I hired an accountant, when I've hired lawyers, I've checked with the relevant bodies that they're certified, that they're competent, that they can do the job, and I've trusted that the level of rigor behind their training is sufficient to do the job. I don't have to know what makes a good accountant. other than the letters after their name. I can pass my trust onto the certifying body, onto the national body or international body. We don't have that. As an Agile community, I fear we steer away from that idea. But maybe that's one of the things we need to be thinking about. Maybe that's one of the factors, is there is no standard. There is no line in the sand that we can say, this is good enough. If you're not here, you're not good enough. Doesn't matter what your job title is, doesn't matter what your opinion about yourself or Agile is, doesn't matter what your CV says. Here is a demonstrable line and you need to cross it. So maybe when we're talking about the root causes, what are the primary factors of contributing to the lack of confidence in Scrum Mastery, maybe it comes down to we need to mature as a profession.